Good afternoon to Ms. Nurul. So today we'll be presenting on integrity and anti-corruption in Malaysia. So these are my group members. So next, these are the assignment questions that we'll be presenting in this video. So let me brief on the definition of integrity and anti-corruption. So integrity is actually the quality of being honest and adhering to strong honest principles, and anti-corruption is the laws, policy, rules and actions used to stop corruption when corruption is dishonest, illegal or fraudulent behavior by people in power for personal gain. So next I'll be explaining on the importance of why we need integrity and anti-corruption in Malaysia. Firstly, it is to ensure fairness by making sure that decisions are based on merit and justice rather than bribery, favoritism, or personal influence. So this will give space to create equal opportunities for everyone based on their hard work. Secondly, it is to protect the public welfare and is to ensure that resources and materials or services are properly managed and directed to the needs of the people rather than being misused or misappropriated for personal gain. So next is to promote economic growth by creating a stable, transparent, and trustworthy environment between the investors. Um, and this will encourage investment, improve efficiency, and strengthens confidence in both the public and private sectors. So that's all from me. I'll pass the time to Anvisha.
Good morning, everyone. Today I will talk about the importance of integrity and anti corruption in Malaysia. First, integrity builds trust. When people and public officials act honestly, citizens have greater confidence in the government and public services. Second, it improves efficacy. Preventing corruption ensures that public resources are used wisely, making services more efficient and benefiting everyone. Finally, integrity strengthens Malaysia's reputation. A country with good governance attracts more investors, tourists, and international opportunities. In conclusion, integrity and anti corruption helps build trust, improves efficiency, and strengthen Malaysia's reputation. Thank you.
Good morning to the lecturer. My name is Elil Raj with the roll number 016. Today, I'll be presenting on Transparency International, also known as TI. Transparency International is a global organization that focuses on fighting corruption and promoting transparency and accountability worldwide. It was founded in 1993 by Peter Egan, the person you can see on the right, along with a group of former development and government experts who were concerned about rising corruption issues. The organization was created in response to growing concerns about how corruption negatively affects economic development, democracy, and social justice. Corruption can slow down progress, increase inequality, and weaken trust in governments. Transparency International is headquartered in Berlin, Germany, and it operates globally through a strong network of national chapters in over 100 countries. These chapters work together to raise awareness, influence policies, and promote integrity in both public and private sectors. In summary, Transparency International plays a key role in a global fight against corruption and in building a more transparent and accountable world. Thank you so much. That's all from my side.
So next I'll be talking about early development of TI or Transparency International. It is initially focused on addressing corruption developing in countries and where it's hindering economic growth and public services. And it launched the CPI in 1995 and it rapidly grew into a global network that is spanning across 100 countries. Early development importance include making corruption a global public policy issue, encourage governments and organizations to adopt a stronger anti-corruption measures, provide reliable data through CPI, and to compare corruption across countries. Next, the purpose of Transparency Internationals are combat corruptions by promoting integrity in public and private sectors. Next, increase transparency and accountability in government institutions, empower citizens to speak up about corruptions that they see every day. And next, finally, global awareness to raise global awareness of the social and economic impact of corruption.
Now we'll move on to the Corruption Perceptions Index, or CPI, of Malaysia. So, CPI is a global indicator of public sector corruption, which is published annually by Transparency International. Why is it needed? Firstly, it holds governments accountable and pressures leaders to pass anti corruption laws. Secondly, it highlights weak areas in the government, like lack of whistleblower protection, and paves the way for change, thus informing policy. How is it performed? It is performed by combining data from independent sources in analysis and uses expert qualitative perception-based assessment as corruption is deliberately hidden and objective data cannot be used. Each country is then given a score on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being the least corrupt and 100 being the most corrupt.
Now that we know how the index works globally, let's see Malaysia's performance. Looking at the trend from 2012 to 2025, you can see that Malaysia's journey has been quite a roller coaster. If we look back, we hit a peak in 2019 with a score of 53 following the launch of a National Anti-Corruption Plan, but then faced a steep multi-year decline, reaching a lowest point in 2022 at a score of 47. This drop was largely driven by political instability. The good news is, after 2024 at 50, we took a significant leap upward. This positive trend is a direct result of renewed political stability, heightened enforcement, and high profile investigations led by the MSEC. Malaysia scored 52 out of 100 this year, placing us on an upward trajectory. With this improvement, Malaysia now ranks 54th out of 182 countries globally.
Good morning, everyone. Today I will present the chronology of the corruption case involving Malaysia's former armed force chief. First, on 24 June 2024, he was alleged to have abused his position during the procurement of Hari Raya hamper supplies under the Armed Forces Welfare Fund. On the same date, he was also accused of investing RM 3 million from the welfare fund without proper approval. In March 2025, he alleged received RM 200,000 in cash from a company director. In August 2025, military plans to purchase aging Black Hawk helicopters were cancelled amid concerns of procurement practices. 7 October 2025, Nation Anti-Corruption Commission started an official investigation. 15 January 2026, the investigation was completed. On 22nd January 2026, former army chief and some other chief were alleged money laundering, and 23 January 2026, the former armed forces chief was officially charged in court and pleaded not guilty. Thank you.
I'm Wei Jie, roll number 242006017, and now I'm continue rest of part of this case by present about legal implication. According to Section 223 First Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) Act 2009, which about the offence of power abuse, it mentioned that a public official or member of a public or government body use his position or the office in making a decision or taking action for the interest of himself, his relative or associate is considered as an offence. For example, in this case, we can see that Muhammad Nizam Jafar abused his power by awarding contracts of festive gift supplies to 5 companies for 550,000 ringgit Malaysia, which actually about without the acknowledgement of others. From that, any person that commit offence under Section 23 shall conviction be liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 20 years and a fine of not less than the 5 times the sum of the gratification, which is subject matter of offence where such gratification is capable of being valued or is of pecuniary nature or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher, is set under the Section 24 as the penalty of offence. This case highlights actually why the MACC Act enforces such strict penalty for the abuse of power, ensuring the public officer remain accountable. That's wrap up our analysis for this case. Thank you.
Former Malaysian Armed Force Chief Mohammad Nizam Jafar is charged by Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission. The case involves allegation of contract manipulation, criminal breach of trust, and accepting gratification linked to military welfare funds. The charges include violation under Section 17A of the MACC Act 2009, for accepting gratification, and Section 23 and 24 for abusing his power, which is directed in welfare fund contracts to selected companies. The scandal extends beyond Nizam, with former army chief Hafizuddin Jatan and his wife also charged in related money laundering offences. Both of them have been charged with 4 counts under the Malaysian Anti Money Laundering Act.
Now, I will explain the preventive measures against the corruption. Firstly, a transparent procurement system is important. This means all government contracts should go through an open tender process to prevent hidden deals and favoritism. Secondly, regular audits and independent oversight by MACC helps to monitor financial activities continuously. This can detect the misuse of funds at an early stage. Thirdly, a whistleblower protection system is important. It encourages individuals to report corruption cases by ensuring legal protection and confidentiality. Lastly, there must be a strict compliance with laws and procedures, meaning all activities must follow the MACC Act 2009 and the Anti Money Laundering Act to prevent illegal practices. In conclusion, these preventive measures helps to strengthen transparency, accountability, integrity in all government systems. Thank you.